Hey everybody, this is Mark Stepp, Chief Innovation Officer here at Realvolve. Had a few questions from users and thought I would answer it through a video. It's fairly straightforward, but it's not probably as self-evident in the software and how to do it. So I thought I'd just kind of run through it and show you how to do it. So it has to do with sending a mass SMS message of some sort. So what I did is I went into the templates area of Realvolve and just created a new template. I labeled it Mass SMS Messaging, label it whatever you want, using with contact. And I went ahead and tagged it with just Mass SMS Message. Now this is a tag that I've assigned to 2 or 3 people in my database just to do this sample, but you would probably go in there and create some kind of tag on your contacts that would be, who are the people that you want to message, and put that same tag on those contacts. So I'd created a tag called Mass SMS Message in my contacts. I'm just putting it here just for information purposes. It doesn't really do anything. The other thing that we needed was the via. How are we sending this? In this case, I am sending this as an SMS. And then we just type in the template here. Type in the content that we want. Hey, contact first name. Just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So a lot of times we talk about putting the greeting here, which you could do. The challenge would be, because this is an SMS and because people have their own SMS number, instead of using greeting, which it could say, hey, Mark and Kathy, just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If you want to use both names, use greeting. If you just want to use the individual's name that you're sending it to, then contact first name would be the appropriate one to use. Then click on the save so that you've got it. So now we've got the template ready to send, and you could just create this as a generic message and just use it for anything that whenever you're wanting to blast out. But the thing is that the real key to this is making sure that you have your people, the contacts, tagged appropriately. So what I want to do is come over to the workflows area, and I did a search for Mass. I don't have anything in there. So we're just going to create a new workflow real quick. So I click on the plus, create a new workflow, and continue. And we're going to say Mass SMS Message. So I'm just going to keep it the same title as the tag for purposes of this. This is a contact workflow. All the rest of this stuff we really don't have to worry about. I'm just going to come down here and click on the add button. So what this does is this creates the workflow that we want to use. And I'm going to add one activity, just one piece to this, and this is titled, we're going to put in a title here of Send Mass SMS Message. Now you can pick who you want to assign this to. I'm logged in as Joe Agent, so that's Joe Agent's in there. It'll have obviously your name in there. This is who are we going to do this with? It's whoever is assigned to the workflow by default. But we need to change this. What we want to do is click on this, and we want to come down here and say, not who do we start the workflow on, which you could do that, but then you'd be starting a bunch of workflows for the same message for a bunch of people, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. The other option is using the tagged with. Now, using the tagged with has its precautions as well. You only want to start this one time whenever you're doing a workflow. Otherwise, people will get multiple messages. So definitely want to only do this once. And there's a little message that comes up that you should only start it with one contact. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Tagged with Mass SMS Message. So here's that same tag that I had added to the template, but it really didn't matter about the template, but it's more of a case of which contacts do I have in my database that have this this message. So I'm going to send that message. Joe Agent's going to do it with anyone tagged with Mass SMS Message. This is a text message, so I'm going to choose text there. And the action. Last thing that we've got to deal with is what are we actually doing? What's the action we're going to do with this piece? So I'm going to create this as a send Mass SMS message. Again, you can title it whatever you want, doesn't really matter, but we could do it automatically or immediately. What it kind of depends on how trusting you are in what you're doing. I'm actually going to send this as immediately. And what this will do then is it'll just blast it out. If you wanted to make sure, you schedule it on whatever day, that type of stuff, you could certainly do it as a send manually with preview, so you can preview it before it goes out, or send automatically if you want it to go out at a specific time. But whenever you choose send immediately, it basically says, okay, soon as I start this workflow, and this is typically done with like an autoresponder where a lead comes in and you want to immediately start the workflow, but as soon as it's started, it just immediately sends out a message. I'm actually going to do that one just so that it just blasts it out and sends it. So send immediately. What are we sending? We're sending an SMS message. And what template are we using? And we're going to say Mass SMS Message, which is the template that we had. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. Once I've got all of that for this activity, I click on Add. So now we have one activity in one workflow. That's all we need. So what I would typically do in this case is, because it's a mass email or mass text message, and it's going to send to whomever is tagged with that particular tag that you've selected, in this case, Mass SMS Message, all we have to do is go to our dashboard and maybe go to your own contact record. If you're in there as a user, and you should be, just go to your own contact record. You will notice that whenever you go to, actually, I'm logged in as Joe Agent, so let me log here as Joe Agent. So you'll notice that if I go to Joe Agent, there's a little mannequin head and shoulder thing here. That means that this is linked to a user, which I'm the user for Joe Agent. Joe Agent does not have the tag that I'm wanting, and that's fine. It just means Joe's not going to be messaged or anything. But I do want to start the workflow on Joe. So I click on Start a Workflow, and we're going to do Mass SMS Message. There's only one message. Just hit Next. The date and time. Now, because I'm doing it immediately, it really ignores this. We always ask for start date and time, but technically it's not even going to be used. If you did use automatic or send manually with preview, then it would use it. Since I am using the immediate, it's just going to not worry about the date at all. And this is a precaution. It's basically saying, hey, are you really sure you want to do this? Because it's going to go out to anybody that is tagged with this. And if you are starting it on more than one contact, each time you start it, that message will go out to everybody that's tagged. So this is the one precaution we want to always make sure that we don't do. We've had plenty of users go out there, they start this workflow, this type of workflow on multiple people, and then they call in and say, hey, I've got multiple messages going to people. Why is that? And it's because you've started it multiple times and you're using the people that are tagged. So it's just going to find each person that's tagged each time you started it and send it. So we just want to make sure that that's clear and that you don't do it. You can read more if you need to. But in this case, I know what I'm doing. It's only going to start it once on Joe Agent, but it'll send it to everybody that's tagged. So I'm going to click on Done. So then it creates the activity. And as soon as that workflow gets generated, gets started, then it immediately runs the workflow and immediately sends the message. So if I go over now, let me just go over to tagged, and let's do mass, and I see that there is a mass SMS message. So I've got these 3 contacts, Kathy, Mark, Jake in this case. If I go in, let's say we click on Jake, and we look here, hey, Jake, just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. That got sent out. Go back over here, maybe click on Kathy. And it looks like Kathy's got some other, maybe some pinned messages and stuff here. Here it is. Hey, Kathy, just wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. So it got sent out to everybody that was tagged with that tag. But that's pretty much it. You know, starting with a workflow, you can send any kind of text message, and in this case, you might also have maybe a case where you're sending messages out to your team members, maybe on a weekly basis or something, and you want to send them something, information, every week. You could tag them with a special tag, create a special workflow that uses that tag, and then type in your message in the same template each time. You're just changing the message each time, and then you start that workflow, send it immediately, or you can send it automatically and manual if you want, and then it'll blast it out. So just making sure that you don't start that workflow on each individual person that's tagged. Otherwise, each person that is tagged will get multiple messages, because each time it looks for everyone that is tagged with that particular tag. So, but that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, visit our website, help.realvolve.com. Send us a support request, support@realvolve.com. Otherwise, everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see you later. Have a great day.